Hello greedies, this is Mr. Miller and welcome to lesson 2.2 on rates. We're going to take a look at some definitions and examples for starters. First of all, a rate is a comparison of two quantities that are measured in different units. So there are lots of possibilities here. One is that you're looking at, say, a price per certain number of something. So maybe it's $5 per 3 apples. And this is a rate because it's a comparison of two quantities that are measured in different units. This is measured in dollars, this is measured in apples. Could also be something like 120 kilometers every 2 hours. And so again, this is a rate because we have two quantities that are measured in different units. This one in kilometers, this one in hours. Looking at what is a unit rate. So this is a rate in which the second term is 1. So again, if I take a look at that speed kind of example, the 120 kilometers, let's say, every 2 hours. So we could reduce this to lowest terms by dividing the first term by 2 and dividing the second part by 2. And now this is a unit rate because the second term is 1 hour. So whenever you're looking to achieve that, taking that second term and changing it into a 1, you want to take whatever that second term is and divide it by itself. So if you're dividing this by 2, you also have to divide the other term by 2 to maintain the same rate. So 120 divided by 2, that's how we get 60 kilometers per 1 hour. Typically we'll just write that as 60 kilometers per hour. We don't actually write the 1, but there you go. There's an example of a unit rate, and of course that is a speed. So you didn't have to write down that example. Don't worry, there are other examples to come. And let's see those coming up now. So in example 1, we've got Johnny who runs a 10 kilometer race in 45 minutes. So the rate at which Johnny is running is 10 kilometers every 45 minutes. This reduces to 2 kilometers every 9 minutes. Now, this is a rate that is currently in lowest terms. And again, all we had to do to get it in lowest terms is divide both terms by the greatest common factor between them, which in this case was 5. So if we'd like to have it as a unit rate, then what we're looking to do is to get the number of kilometers per 1 minute. So the way that you do that is by dividing by 9. Again, we're just dividing by whatever the second term is. So if you're going to divide the second term by 9, you also have to divide the first term by 9, and 2 divided by 9 is really just 2/9. So it's 2/9 of a kilometer every 1 minute. If you want to change that 2/9 into a decimal, you do 2 divided by 9 on your calculator and you'll find it's 0.2 repeated kilometers per minute. So 2/9 of a kilometer per minute, or 0.2 repeated kilometers per minute, this is not a very common way to measure speed. Typically it would go in kilometers per hour. So you can get that by multiplying the unit rate, which is currently in kilometers per minute, by 60 to get the following results. So just a little bit more on that. The reason that we're multiplying by 60 is because if we want to change 1 minute into 60 minutes, we're going to have to multiply by 60. So multiplying by 60, we get 60 minutes, and of course that is 1 hour. If we multiply 2/9 by 60, then this is something that takes a little bit more work if you don't have a calculator. 2/9 times 60, 60 is 60 over 1, and so 2 times 60 gives you 120, and 9 times 1 gives you 9. If you divide the top and the bottom by 3, then this will reduce it to lowest terms, and that's how you get the 40 over 3. Most of you have calculators and it'll do that for you. The 40 over 3, you can always change that into a mixed fraction. How many times does 3 go into 40? And that would be 13 times with 1 left over. So you could also say it's 13 1/3 kilometers per hour, or if you want it as a decimal, 13.3 repeated kilometers per hour. So let's go on and take a look at some more definitions and examples. So now we're going to take a look at a unit price. So this is a unit rate in which the first term is measured in dollars or in cents. So for instance, we have lemons that are sold at a rate of 99 cents for 3 lemons and $3.60 as another possibility for buying 12, which is that's what a dozen means. A dozen is 12. Question is, what is the better deal? So if you look at 99 cents for 3 lemons, this has a unit price of 33 cents per lemon. So you get that price per 1 lemon by dividing by 3. So we have to divide this by 3. The $3.60 for a dozen lemons has a unit price of 0.3 dollars per lemon. So a dozen is 12. 12 lemons. If you want to change it to 1 lemon, you have to divide by 12. 3.6 divided by 12 gives you 0.3. That's the number of dollars per lemon. And if you multiply it by 100, that gives you 30 cents per lemon. That's what I indicated here. That last step I did 0.3 times 100 to get the number of cents per lemon. And now we have the same. We can compare these very easily. 33 cents per lemon, 30 cents per lemon. Pretty easy to tell at this point that $3.60 for a dozen lemons is the better deal because you're going to be paying less per lemon. Last example we're going to look at here, we have 3 jars of salsa. So we have a small jar which is 425 milliliters in size. You pay $3.44 for that. Or you can buy the medium jar, 642 milliliters for $6.29, or the large jar of salsa, 1.7 liters, and you pay $15.49 for that. So the question here, if we consider the salsas being sold in these 3 sizes for the prices listed, what is the best deal on salsa? So $3.44 for 425 milliliters has a unit price of this. So if you want the price for 1 milliliter, you have to do 425 divided by 425, and that's why you're also doing 3.44 divided by 425. So here's the price, 0.00809 and so on dollars per milliliter. This is a very small amount, but that's because a milliliter is a very tiny amount of salsa. It's the same thing as a cubic centimeter. Probably more easy to understand price per liter. So let's convert it by multiplying by 1,000. So changing 1 milliliter into 1,000 milliliters by multiplying by 1,000, now we've got a liter. Do the same thing for the first time term, multiply by 1,000. You get $8.09 approximately as the price per liter. Taking a look at the medium jar of salsa, it's $6.29 for 642 milliliters. The unit price you get, if you want the price for a single milliliter, then if you want 1 milliliter here, you have to do 642 divided by 642. So you take the 6.29 and divide by 642, and that's how you get this price per liter. This is dollars per liter, very, very cheap because a milliliter is not that much. Multiply by 1,000, now you get something that you can relate to a little bit more. And so this is the price per liter. So 1,000 times as much, multiply by 1,000, there you go. You can already see that the first jar, the smaller jar, is actually the better deal of the small one and the medium one. Let's take a look at the large now. $15.49 for 1.7 liters has a unit price of, dividing both parts by 1.7. So again, we're always dividing by what that second term is. If you divide 15.49 by 1.7, here's what you get. This is the price per liter. So it's a better deal than the medium one, which is what we would expect. But it's actually not as good as a deal as the smallest one, which is very strange, but we're just going by the information that was given to us here in this question. Based on this, you can conclude that the best deal on salsa is the $3.44 for 425 milliliter, that particular container, because it has the lowest unit price. So that's the end of lesson 2.2. Thanks for watching and have a great day.